Step up, boys. First one's free.
Okay, if you insist. All right, all right. Oh boy, what fun.
You lose.
Did you see that, SpongeBob? I almost got that on my first try.
My work here is done.
Well, why don't I give it a try?
Good luck. You'll
Winner.
It's a bear. I'm gonna call you Barry.
What if the machine designed to create a pop superstar actually got it all wrong? And what if a system designed to prevent a single star from ever emerging is that very thing that created one? It's a story of two front women, two groups, and two completely different kinds of power. We saw it with Nicole Scherzinger and the Pussycat Dolls, a group built entirely to support her, and now we're seeing it with a new version of it now with Manon and Katseye, the global girl group from K-pop's giant HYBE and Geffen Records. Both were singled out as the undeniable star, but here's the great irony. Nicole was handed all the structural power and industry resources imaginable to become the Beyoncé of her group, but it never quite happened. Manon, on the other hand, is in a K-pop style system designed to constrain individual power and promote a group, and yet through her fan-given soft power, she has a real possibility of becoming the breakout star her system is trying to contain. This is a story of paradox, how one groomed for solo stardom flopped and the one caged by a system might just succeed. To understand the irony, you have to look at the Pussycat Dolls structure. That group wasn't built on equality. It was a launchpad for a star. PCD adopted the model to the T when co-founder Robin Anton turned her burlesque troupe into a pop group. The final lineup was Nicole, Melody, Jessica, Kimberly, Ashley, and original burlesque member Carmit. Nicole Scherzinger was brought in as lead vocalist. This was a deliberate decision by the label, and Robin backed it. Not only that, but the rest of the group were assigned to minor roles in the deal. Made no mistake, Nicole was at the top of the hierarchy. She sang a majority of the lead vocals, and she was the focus in every music video. And in interviews, the other members were treated like the background characters. This same front woman structure that infamously was branded by the Pussycat Dolls was heavily influenced by the Destiny's Child model. There was an interesting article from The Ringer that cited Destiny's Child was ultimately to credit for popularizing this dynamic for modern female ensembles, no doubt because labels wanted to create breakout acts like Beyoncé, and it was obvious the label wanted to use the Pussycat Dolls as a launchpad for Nicole's solo aspirations. After the success of the group's debut album, PCD, in 2005, Nicole struck it out on her own. The label pulled all the stops with Nicole. She was working with will.i.am, Sean Garrett, and prolific songwriter Diane Warren. There were big performances, radio promotion. Basically, they gave her the structures to guarantee her visibility and pave a golden road to her solo career. However, it became obvious after a series of failed singles that the public wasn't interested in a solo Nicole.
Wow, it's different when you branch out to be a solo artist.
And there's the irony. Despite the industry machine pushing her as the next solo superstar, this massive success never materialized. Her power was absolute and designed to make her a solo force, but the outcome wasn't what the blueprint promised. So she went back to the Dolls, where the group dynamics deteriorated into a complete mess. They managed to pop out a few great pop hits with their second album, Doll Domination, in 2008, then disappeared for like a decade. Now it seems like their predecessors, Katseye, are more egalitarian in comparison to PCD. It's yet another sextet girl group born from 2023 survival show, Dream Academy. They're an experiment from HYBE and Geffen Records to mix the K-pop training system with the Western pop feel. The final lineup consisted of Sophia, Lara, Daniela, Megan, Yuche, and Manon. Although, unlike Pussycat Dolls, every girl at least has a line in every song and can speak during interviews. And more importantly, both groups, they share the front woman structure. Right from the beginning, Manon, a novice with no professional performance experience, became a huge fan favorite, and massive popularity with viewers on Dream Academy saved her, landing her the 6th and final spot in the group, and that's the origins of her power. It wasn't handed to her by the company, it was given to her by the fans. Unlike Nicole, Manon's influence was all soft power. It's based on charisma, her visuals, and that undeniable it factor that just pulls the camera lens and the audience's eyes right to her. She's the entry point of the group. But HYBE and Geffen's official strategy is a direct countermeasure to the Pussycat Dolls model. It pushes equality from the group's concept and name. It's all about teamwork. Everyone has their unique roles that strengthens the group. Sophia is the leader and key vocalist. Lara is the main vocalist. Daniela is the main dancer. while Yoonchae and Megan, I think, are all-rounders. So while Manon is the fan favorite, she still exists within a K-pop system actively designed to prevent her from becoming Nicole, essentially.
So annoying.
Because in Korea, the whole idol industry is designed to be dependent on companies. They don't want a solo superstar like a Drake or a Taylor Swift. Soloists might amass too much power and disrupt their system. This is where the tension lies. Manon's soft power is constantly at odds with the structure of the group, and we're already seeing signs of the system trying to maintain its balance. Hybe and Geffen understood the power of having Manon in the group. So here's the interesting thing. Even though most of Manon's power comes from the fans, I can't deny the privilege she had. I mean, she was scouted, right? So Hybe and Geffen, they knew her influence would be immeasurable, especially to a black demo that's been a crucial part of K-pop. But personally, I think that's where it just kind of stops and ends. Yes, they brought her in. Yes, we kind of all knew she was going to be in the group regardless of her talent level or whatever she did. But in my opinion, the label wasn't really interested in really doing anything else with her. Like, they were just exploiting her social cachet. This could be seen in the docuseries Popstar Academy. The show was released to help promote Katseye's first EP, Sis, in 2024. The premise of the series was to give the audience a behind-the-scenes look at the training that created the sextet. However, the program was very polarizing, with fans outraged on Manon's edit. She was framed as being a diva and having a horrible work ethic. So let me just say, like I've said before, Manon was privileged. She was scouted. We all knew she was going to be in the group, regardless of how well she sang or danced. And I can understand the frustrations coming from the other contestants. Having someone so privileged who isn't working as hard be guaranteed a spot, while you kind of have to fight to earn your spot. And I can only imagine how frustrating it is to have someone on your team who isn't putting in as much work as you, and you're graded by their performance.
A performance, like a proper performance.
Because remember, everyone who wasn't, in my opinion, Laura or Manon, had to earn their spot. So if you're put in a group with Manon and she isn't carrying her weight and you're graded by her performance, then yeah, I can see why people would be frustrated. It's understandable. But here's the thing. I feel like the edit only showed her mostly in a one-dimensional way. Yes, she was privileged, but why not also show her as, you know, that hometown girl coming to the big city, trying to find her footing? Like, there were so many different ways they could have taken the edit rather than harp on her being dead weight, being a diva with horrible work ethic. That was my issue. And also, I feel like the series really set her up to become the target of the K-pop fandom that they were amassing, just so they can, just so the label and the management can cover their own butts, because they were the real villains this whole time. So they kind of used her as a target and as a shield at the same time. It was irritating. This narrative, intentional or not, was seen by fans as an attempt to undermine the popularity that Manon was gaining. The docuseries created tension within the fandom that always lingered, where Manon was either seen as the underdog that needed protection or the weakest link that didn't deserve to be there. Months after the docuseries dropped, people overwhelmingly supported her. That brings us to Katseye's latest drama, the Manon exit, quote-unquote exit. This past February, Hybe and Geffen announced Manon would be going on hiatus, and we all know the story. The timeline lit up covering the news because the label came out with an official statement saying that Manon needed to stay out for health reasons, and then Manon came back on her personal channel or her personal social media account and made contradicting statements. Things escalated when Daniela's father started commenting disparaging remarks about Manon on social media. To make things worse, Megan recently quickly refollowed Daniela, and then there was some weird fan interactions that she had later on. And then from the latest I've heard is that Manon unfollowed Missy, one of the coaches from Popstar Academy.
Now let's talk about Katseye. The girls did a good job. They were disjointed. And I think that they keep putting Laura in the front and the middle to me because they need that brown. Yeah, because it looks a little off. No shade now that it's only one brown girl, and Manon was needed in this performance. And if I have to be honest, she was even there. She was at Coachella. I said, oh, interesting. They feel disjointed because those awkward silences of, thank you, we love you so much, everybody, this is our dream to be here. Those little moments like that, it felt like y'all didn't know what to do, and it felt like it was an awkward tension, right? Was I the only one? I felt like it was an awkward tension. Like, it felt like it was an awkwardness to finally be like, and we love our sister Manon, we love you, girl, we're here for you, da-da-da. None of that. It kind of did break my heart to see the girls like, this is our dream, it is our dream. And this was Manon's biggest dream as well. And here she's just there at the festival, like, attending.
And y'all, child, this whole hiatus seemed like the label thought the show could go on without Manon. These incidents just show how quickly soft power can be undermined and underestimated. The label thought without a structural safety net, something Nicole Scherzinger had, Manon's position as the face of the group would be at the mercy of producers' edits and company decisions. They thought that maybe they could dim her appeal, hiding her behind choreo and covering her face on billboards, all to control her influence to make the group equal at her expense. The company thought her power was fragile and not guaranteed. What's interesting about soft power is that it's very unpredictable and can transform into a formidable force. The contrast between Nicole and Manon is a story of two different industry eras and cultures. Pussycat Dolls were a product of the 2000s, an era that commonly had one star in the group. It was a business model popularized by Destiny's Child, like I said before. There was a clear hierarchy, and the media is always happy to appoint a chosen one. Katseye being launched in the 2020s after K-pop's globalization is a different situation. HYBE, the company behind BTS, puts an empire on group symmetry. Furthermore, in today's music world, the group formula is still being molded, especially with girl groups. Fans want diversity. They want a group that touches on their experiences and represents them. Something they don't want is another launchpad group. That's certainly true with K-pop fans. They analyze line distributions and screen time to make sure their faves aren't being mistreated. So far, the groups that tend to last have been the ones anchored in equality. TLC is a great example. Little Mix and even newer groups like Flow and Say Now understand that. A group where one member sings 90% of the songs wouldn't fly. The overt structural power of Nicole would have caused a massive backlash today. Just to be clear, I think what makes Manon so compelling is that her handlers never allowed her to fully shine. They view her as a puppet so they can reap the benefits of her black cachet. It's giving anti-black misogyny and all the isms too. And it's because they want to dim her at the expense of the group. It's because of this dichotomy people have rallied behind her. The new reality puts a charismatic member like Manon in a fascinating bind. Her star quality makes her a natural center, but she's in a system that actively works against a solo spotlight. The irony is that this very resistance, this attempt to enforce equality, might be the pressure that creates a diamond. It makes her story more compelling and her fans' support more passionate, potentially giving her the breakout moment Nicole was supposed to have.
Like, this is where I had the moment that I talked about at the beginning of the episode about my theory about her needing to play a character. Because it's like, through all of this flop sweat of the preceding 5 years, all of a sudden she gets a part and she is amazing. Singing, obviously incredible, but she's funny, she's convincing, she's like doing all of this stuff that we'll see her do later in Sunset Boulevard. Like, she gets all the little nuances and all the jokes of the song. The audience is fucking gagging, laughing, clapping. She's funny. Like, it was amazing. And I'm just kind of like, okay, like, Jai-Ho, this was her destiny. You know what I mean? Like, this was the moment. Like, I was like, she's really, really good. And she got a lot of plaudits for it. Like, the Los Angeles Times gave her a rave review. Like, it was clear. It's funny because it took her a while to figure this out, but like, this was definitely a milieu that works for her. And it's great. Yeah. You should definitely watch this.
I mean, it makes perfect sense because, like, I mean, she was a theater kid, but also we talked about, like, she has all the tools. She just doesn't know how to use them.
She's a director. She needs a part.
Yeah. When she has the part and she's able to just show you what she does, it's like, it's no surprise that she, you know, is the best.
Okay.
So could Manon be the breakout star of Katseye? The answer is complex, but I think she's going to have a bright future. Stardom is a weird thing. Nicole was giving hard structural foundation power. She had the contract, the lead vocals, the industry machine, everything designed to make her the Beyonce of her group.
Beyonce. Yeah. Love her.
But that power ultimately failed to launch her into that stratosphere. Manon was given soft power by an audience. She exists in a system built to constrain individual dominance and promote group harmony, and yet it is precisely this dynamic, the system's resistance and the fans' overwhelming support, that creates the very real possibility that she could become a true breakout star. The attempt to contain her may be the very thing that makes her unstoppable. The great paradox is that the K-pop system, in trying to prevent a solo star, just might accidentally be creating a perfect condition for real superstars to emerge against the odds. So what do you all think? Please let me know down below. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for your time. Comment, like I said, like, subscribe, hype the video, all that good stuff. Goodbye.